初ウェビナー、中東及び UAE における日本企業の新たなビジネス機会をご視聴いただき、誠にありがとうございます。私、KIZAD 日本市場代理店、株式会社エブリシング OK 西田光夫と申します。よろしくお願いいたします。ウェビナー開始に先立ち、留意点を3つご案内いたします。1つ目は、本日、講演の中で使用いたしますプレゼンテーション資料は、ご視聴いただきました皆様宛てに後日、資料ダウンロード用の URL をご送付いたします。後日のダウンロードとなりますことをご了承くださいませ。2つ目は、本日は同時通訳サービスのご用意がございます。そのご使用にあたっては、専用アプリ、インタープリファイが必要となりますので、ダウンロードいただき、ご利用くださいませ。スマートフォンをご利用の場合は、イヤホンをご準備いただき、Wi-Fi に接続。インタープリファイのアプリを開き、パスワード、KIZAD123 を入力。言語を選択し、接続をお願いいたします。パソコンご利用の場合は、ブラウザーより対象となる URL を開き、言語を選択し、接続をクリックください。3つ目ですが、プログラム最後のディスカッションの部では、パネリストが皆様からのご質問にお答えする形となりますが、限られた時間での受け答えとなってしまうことが想定されます。可能な限り対応いたしますが、本日頂戴いたしますすべての質問を時間内にカバーできない可能性がございますことをご了承くださいませ。なお、ご質問は随時、日本語もしくは英語でコメント欄に打ち込んでくださいませ。最後に、これから1時間の大まかな流れについてご説明させていただきます。主催者代表の挨拶に続き、4つのプレゼンテーションをご覧いただきます。英語でのプレゼンテーションが2つ、日本語でのプレゼンテーションが2つ、そして最後にパネルディスカッションという流れになります。それでは、定刻となりますので、進行を務めます、KIZADコマーシャルバイスプレジデント、エドウィン・ラマーズ様に引き継ぎたいと思います。Mr. Edwin, please take over from now.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to have you all here. These are challenging times, and meeting each other in conference room like this on the digital web is something which is new for all of us. However, we felt that over the last period of time, it is proven to change people's way of working and possibly make our economy more resilient towards the future. Japan and the UAE are very closely tied together. Since the inception of the country, the United Arab Emirates itself, there are close ties between the countries. Already since 1971, there are bilateral trade relationships between the two countries officially, and even dating back to 1961, when the first shipment of UAE crude oil was exported from the Emirates. From 1961 till now, the Emirate has grown a lot, not only relying anymore on the oil revenues, but also diversifying their economy on the basis of a growing demand for trade, logistics, and industrial development. With a very much a highlight, the just recent launch of the Mars shuttle going to help the UAE to start exploring there. The mission Hope to Mars was launched from Japan and has seen a lot of interest from the international developers in the technology sites. Apart from these technologies, KIZAD as an industrial zone is playing a pivotal role in supporting those industries in a variety of fields, not only in these advanced technologies and renewable energy and oil and gas, but also in more traditional elements like the food sector, the automotive industries, the polymers industries, and a lot of opportunities that might bring any of the interested investors from Japan today. Today, we are going to take you by the hand and guide you through what UAE and Abu Dhabi in particular has to offer for Japanese investors. For that, we have a good selection of presenters today, where we will have Mr. Samir Chaturvedi, our CEO for Khalifa Industrial Zone Abu Dhabi, who is going to take us through a short brief on the people in the panel today. Mr. Samir.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome and good morning. I hope all of you are keeping safe and staying healthy. And before I proceed with my talk, I would like to echo the sentiments of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi and Deputy Supreme Commander of UAE Armed Forces, and wish Prime Minister Abe good health. UAE-Japanese relationship flourished and reached unprecedented heights under his leadership. We look forward to a continuation of Abenomics and continued growth in these relations under the leadership of Mr. Suga. I would also like to congratulate all of you on Naomi Osaka's second US Open tennis win over the weekend. I'm sure every Japanese is proud of this. We thank you for taking time to attend this webinar. I'm very excited to see the attendance in this event. The number of attendants demonstrates the interest Japanese business have in the regional opportunities, especially in Middle East and in Abu Dhabi. These are unprecedented times. The challenges of COVID-19 pandemic are impacting the world economy. Like the rest of the world, Japan has faced the pandemic and has actively addressed the challenges. We can already see that the restrictions are beginning to ease as the infection slow down. UAE, the situation is not very different. We are trying to do our best to ensure that our people can stay safe. At KIZAD, we are focused on supporting our customers, and our main objective during the crisis has been to ensure that our people, our customers, our investors are safe, their businesses remain open, and their supply chains remain operational. And in this regard, we are working hand in hand with all our customers, which in one way ensures that our customers are safe, but also demonstrates our commitment towards this partnership with our customers. UAE-Japan relations are historical and based on trust, cooperation, respect, and mutual interest. The January 2020 official visit of the UAE Prime Minister to UAE by the Prime Minister Shinzo Abe strengthened the ties that bind our two nations and see them evolving on multiple fronts like trade, energy, technology, space, and education. Among KIZAD's key customers is Al Gharbia Pipe Company, a joint venture between ADQ, JFE Steel Corporation, and Marubeni Itichu Steel Incorporated. This joint venture is UAE's first large diameter source service capable welded steel pipe project in KIZAD. My dear friend and our most important customer, Anataki-san, the general manager of Al Gharbia Pipe Company, is with us today, and he will share his experience of setting up and working in KIZAD a little later in this session. Abu Dhabi Port and KIZAD continue to grow and create the infrastructure necessary to enhance the economic partnership and to ensure we play a significant role in region's economy. UAE's central location, Middle East region, this will result in numerous benefits to both countries as we move forward. We are living in a fast-changing world. The dynamics of global business are changing fast because COVID-19 pandemic is creating a havoc in the global economy. Together with financial, political, and country risk, we will also have to address the new risk associated with geographies and impact of situations like the current pandemic. Serving the global markets through a single mega manufacturing base may make sense as it provides economies of scale, but it's also prone to geographical risks that affect our connected world. One way to break this risk is to spread manufacturing to multiple locations and diverse geographies, so that natural calamities and other crises that hinder business in the world do not impact the business as badly. The business continuity is ensured despite situations like current pandemic or any other geographical challenges. You also see that the Middle East region is growing for the world. With the current relationships between UAE, Bahrain, and Israel restarting the cooperation and business lines, the UAE will become even more important in the world economy. Abu Dhabi and KIZAD offer a second home for Japanese investors, thanks to the business-friendly policies of the government of UAE, the special focus our government puts on the relationships with Japan, and a well-thought-out state-of-art infrastructure that KIZAD has to offer. UAE is open for business. We invite you to come over and explore the opportunities in Abu Dhabi, an industrial base connected to the world, ready for you to access the world through us. We are a politically stable country with investor-friendly regulations and the highest quality infrastructure and utilities to serve the industrial entities. Today, we have a very interesting panel here to talk about Abu Dhabi's value proposition and to address any of your questions and concerns about investments in Abu Dhabi or KIZAD. We also invite you to discuss your requirements, your questions, concerns about what KIZAD can offer and how we can assist you in your businesses. Please feel free to write your questions in the comment section, and we will ensure that every question is answered. Even if we do not have time to answer some questions, we will get back to you through email or through a telephone call to make sure that your issues are addressed. I would welcome all our participants, co-participants, and especially would like to welcome my dear friend and colleague, His Excellency Dr. Tariq bin Hindi, the Director General of Abu Dhabi Investment Office, who has kindly agreed to join us today and talk about the investment climate in Abu Dhabi. We also have Tomohiro Tushiya-san, the Executive Director of JETRO, and Anadaki-san from Al Gharbia Pipe to share their insights. I would also like to thank my colleague Nishida-san, Edwin, and Khalid for bringing us together to share information on the Abu Dhabi and KIZAD value proposition with you. Once again, I thank you for joining today and look forward to an interesting and exciting discussion. Thank you. Over to you, Edwin.
Thank you very much, Samir. Good to hear your insights on this as a kickstart for this event. As discussed, we have interesting speaker lineup today. The first speaker that will come is Dr. Tariq bin Hindi. He's the Director General for the Abu Dhabi Investment Office and will speak about the diversification and the ease of doing business in Abu Dhabi. Dr. Tariq has more than 18 years of experience in asset management, private equity, and investment banking, and holds a PhD in economics from Imperial College in London, as well as graduate degrees from Columbia University in the US and London Business School. We are very proud to have him here. Dr. Tariq, kindly address these.
Thank you very much, Edwin, and I'd like to echo all of my colleague and good friend Samir's sentiment to the leadership in Japan with the transition that has just happened. Japan, again, is personally one of my favorite countries. I have visited many times. Culturally, gastronomically, it's a phenomenal country, and we here in the UAE benefit from this relationship with Japan continuously through the engagements that we've had over the years, and really from the relationship that has started since the foundation of the UAE. I mean, we established diplomatic ties with Japan in 1971, with our embassy opening in 1973, and the Japanese embassy opening in 1974 in Abu Dhabi. And so this is a long-standing relationship, very proud to be here. I echo everything that my colleague Samir has said. And I'd just like to give you a brief overview on why it is that we do what we do every day in the promotion of Abu Dhabi as the ideal destination for Japanese entities to be based in. I'd like to start my presentation by really focusing on a quote from the late Sheikh Zayed, may he rest in peace, the founder of our nation, where he said that I dreamt of our land keeping pace with the growth of the modern world. We can only do this through relationships and collaboration with some of the largest, most sophisticated institutions in the world, and many of those are in Japan. And so we welcome you here to the UAE and to Abu Dhabi to be based here with us and to grow and prosper, as Samir had mentioned earlier. The UAE, in a nutshell, has phenomenal free trade agreements and bilateral investment treaties globally. We're continuing to expand that. Purely from a travel perspective, the UAE now holds the #1 passport in the world in terms of travel, and something that we are very proud of, but is also something that entities and corporations, investors can benefit from in terms of the relationships that our leadership have fostered across the world to make sure that everyone has access to the opportunities that they are looking for. As it relates to FDI, we have seen a steady increase. This year is quite an interesting year, but even that being said, we have seen some of the largest FDI inflows into Abu Dhabi, in particular with transactions that ADNOC has conducted, over $10 billion in FDI in just one transaction during what is arguably one of the most challenging environments that we have faced globally in the last 20 years. And so this is testament to Abu Dhabi's positioning, it's testament to Abu Dhabi's long-term vision, its core infrastructure that it has built, as well as the ambitions that we have to bring together the world's best to help us expand our economy. As it relates to Abu Dhabi's enabling business environment, we have a strong and stable economy, a very well-established infrastructure. It's quite easy to do business here, and we're continuing to simplify that process. And it's a place that residents from around the world love to call home. This is the safest city in the world, and we're very proud that this is an ongoing rank that we maintain. So that is a very, very good ranking for us to have. And we are continuing to improve on all of these areas because it's not good enough to be where we are today. We want to improve that. And the only way that we can improve that is through this constant dialogue with the private sector, with the best-in-class enterprises from around the world, and again in Japan, that want to come and be based here in Abu Dhabi. Why is Abu Dhabi's innovation ecosystem interesting? One, we have a young leadership mindset, and our leadership is young. We have an enabling environment, funding sources across sectors, across opportunities. We have a very strong integrated infrastructure. We have a lot of research universities and a very diverse talent pool. And this is an important aspect when it is that we are talking to companies around the world, is that it's very easy to relocate your high-skilled workers, or any workers for that matter, to the UAE. We have a very simple process of onboarding people. It's streamlined, and it's very, very easy, and we are here to help you navigate that. As it relates to Abu Dhabi and its free zones, there are 5 free zones in Abu Dhabi. They service various areas from finance to media, KIZAD being the largest free zone that we have in terms of the infrastructure that's available and what it is that they have built. And I will leave it to my colleagues to describe that in more detail. One thing that we take a lot of pride from in the UAE is how it is that we responded to the pandemic. There were instant economic stimulus packages as well as financial initiatives to help shore up the not only sentiment but the financial situation for many industries, sectors, and investors in Abu Dhabi. From SME credit guarantee programs to us investing into key critical areas that it is that we needed to focus on that were highlighted through this pandemic. Abu Dhabi has been there, it's been proactive, and it's continuing to expand these initiatives to make sure that enterprises are able to thrive in the Emirate. As it relates to the Abu Dhabi Investment Office, think of us as your single point of contact to help you and help facilitate your journey through Abu Dhabi. We were established in January 2019 to promote, attract, and facilitate the private sector industry and investment into the Emirate of Abu Dhabi. We do this through various means, and I will explain that shortly. But think of us as that funnel. You may be having conversations with KIZAD today, and we work hand in hand with KIZAD. We believe that they have an incredible infrastructure, a leadership team that is really building out and supporting private sector companies to come and be based in Abu Dhabi. And we work very closely with them to make sure that we deliver an end-to-end solution for all of you. We do primarily two different things as it relates to how it is that we drive the private sector investment, and that is through our investor care services, which I will elaborate on shortly, as well as financial and non-financial incentive instruments. From an investor care perspective, we provide everything from data, the networks, licensing and permits, real estate, the talent and visas, banking and finance, just to name a few. We want to make sure that your single point of contact addresses all of your queries, your concerns, your requirements, and we take you through that journey to make sure that what your expectations are met and delivered in a timely manner. And our incentives are quite robust. We have financial incentives from rebates and grants to support investments in innovation. The UAE and Abu Dhabi really want to push the innovation narrative. There are many innovative Japanese companies. I mean, you are at the forefront of technological transformation, and we want to help support your companies to come and be based in Abu Dhabi to help us with that innovation. We also look at how it is that we can plug you into the wider Abu Dhabi ecosystem through all the state-owned enterprises, the sovereigns who are looking to make investments into some of these sectors and industries. And then we have the non-financial incentives as well, with how it is that we make the introductions, how it is that we source exemptions and waivers, how it is that we help on soft policy changes. Finally, on the financial incentives, we run a qualitative and quantitative assessment in terms of what it is that the value add is to Abu Dhabi and what it is that each and every institution or investor is looking to bring to Abu Dhabi. We put that together, and then we design rebates and grants to help make sure that not only is your journey through Abu Dhabi simple, but it's also economical. We want to make sure that we help you build a very strong and resilient enterprise and economic activity in Abu Dhabi. Finally, these are our contact details. We will be sharing this information with you. And I just want to reiterate again, as my friend Samir had mentioned here, Abu Dhabi is open for business. We are here to support you. We want to make sure that you capitalize on the massive amounts of investment that Abu Dhabi has put into building its infrastructure, and we want you to help, and we want to help support your diversification of your manufacturing or whatever industry that you might be in terms of setting up in Abu Dhabi and accessing the wider region from Abu Dhabi. Thank you very much, and thank you again for inviting me to this event, Samir.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Tariq. It's always a pleasure to have you here. You were very able to, in a nutshell, create the platform for investors and display what Abu Dhabi can do to help them to come on board. Thank you very much for that. I'm sure people might have a number of questions that come along. We have a Q&A section at the end of this set of presentations. In the meanwhile, we would look forward to receive your questions, which you can type in the Q&A box on your right-hand side. We will try to answer all your questions. If we cannot address them all today, we will come back to you in a later stage. Do not hesitate to do it in Japanese or in English. We will have the ability to look at them both and make sure that we can answer your questions accordingly. For now, as Dr. Tariq mentioned in his presentation, there are 5 different free zones within the context of Abu Dhabi, all with their own special attention. The largest being Khalifa Industrial Zone Abu Dhabi, KIZAD, and we have with us the commercial director of KIZAD, Mr. Khalid Al-Mazouki, who is going to guide us through the opportunities that KIZAD has to offer for Japanese investors. Khalid.
Thank you, Edwin. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I know it's good afternoon. Now it's konnichiwa time. So konnichiwa to our distinguished guests from Japan. We are glad actually to have this chance to present KIZAD to you using the online platforms. I used to work with Jitro now for almost 1 year for this events. We're supposed to have this event actually physically, that we need to visit you in Tokyo, Osaka. Also, we have added Nagoya. So normally we should actually meet you face to face. But hopefully this event will be an informative event, that after this event, things will get better and better, and soon we'll be able to see you in person. So as Dr. Tariq ended speaking about Abu Dhabi, I also want to highlight something here about Abu Dhabi, because as you know that today any investors, when they want to expand their business, go overseas, the first thing nowadays is to select is which city that they will expand their business. Everything is important today, the social aspects, where the employee will live, all of these things, the things that Dr. Tariq explained when it comes, for example, to safety, stable economy, easy of doing business, all of that. We have been in many areas shown by Dr. Tariq that we have been ranking #1, and we are improving in every aspect. Plus, beside all that, Abu Dhabi is very attractive economy, and there's a lot of business opportunities for international company that they can come and take those opportunities. Now, a bit of profile about KIZAD. We are part of Abu Dhabi Ports Groups. In total, we have 1,500 companies as of today, invested around $150 billion US. So it is around equal 40 to 41 billion US dollar. The total size of our industrial zone is 550 square meter. It's almost the 75% of the size of Singapore. Within this size, there is 100 square kilometer that we have dedicated as a free zone area. So this is the map of KIZAD as of today. You see that there is area A and area B. We are targeting to contribute around 50% of Abu Dhabi non-oil GDP by 2030. Now, area A, as you see from this map, it's fully developed. Already 70 to 80% already leased out, and now we are developing area B. Area B is another 300 another over like 300 square kilometer. So there is, as they said, there is a free zone that is spreading between this area. So there is some area that we have allocated as a free zone within area A and also in area B. This is actually giving a company a choice whether they would like to choose the legal entity of a free zone or legal entity of domestic zone. Now, there is a lot of advantage of each one, and a lot of like difference also in the same time. I don't want to go in details. Of course, once maybe you have set up your mind that you are interested to go over here, so we can discuss and we can look at your requirements, what suits you more, which legal entity suits you more. But in just generally, the free zone is meant mainly for companies that are mainly importing and exporting. So their main market may be outside, or their main important equipments coming also, or raw material coming from outside, not from UAE. So there is incentive, for example, 100 ownerships, no custom duty, and no tax of any kind, whether it's corporate or income. The domestic status, the domestic legal status, is give you actually advantage being actually a local company. So it serves actually the local market. When we say the local market, we mainly speak about GCC, because maybe you are aware that the GCC countries they are within one custom bounded area. Now, looking at where our locations, here you see that we are between the two main consumer markets in UAE, which is Dubai and Abu Dhabi. Actually, if you've been to UAE, you will know that it's as a driving distance, it is almost 30 to 35 minutes only to Dubai, and another 30 minutes to drive toward the city of Abu Dhabi. Now, also you see from this map that we are adjacent to Khalifa Port. Khalifa Port also within our group company, so it's a sister company of us. It is considered to be actually one of the world's largest fast-growing seaport in the world. So just a bit of information about the port. As of today, the capacity of the port is 2.5 million TEU, 2.5 million container, and it's supposed to reach to 9 million. Actually, it's already confirmed that next year by 2021, it will reach to 5 million TEU. There's two investments took place in the last years in the container terminals. One is by MSC, Mediterranean Shipping Companies. It's a 4 billion. And another one is COSCO. It's 1.1 billion investments, both to jointly operate the port terminals with our group company, Abu Dhabi Ports. Also, we have liquid and gas terminal. We are working with Saudi Arabia company for that. It will have 44 tanks and will be capacity of 83,000 cubic meters. Now, we also have a terminal to serve the auto market. It's called Auto Terminal. It's operated by Barcelona companies. Capacity of today is 17,000 vehicles, but we are expanding to reach to 300,000 vehicles. Now, as been explained by Dr. Tariq and also by Mr. Samir also, that we are that UAE today, as you know, that GCC market today consists of over 50 million populations. But we are, when we speak about UAE, always we speak that we are a hub, whether it is a logistic hub or industrial hub. So when we speak about hub, we are speaking mainly about the region that you see in this map. So we speak definitely about the Middle East, about Africa, and also India, because we are the third or the second partner of India when it comes to total trade, import and export. Now, this region is actually very interesting nowadays because most of the world young population, almost 50% of the world young populations coming from this region. So for Japanese company, this is actually an opportunity because the future demand, the future workforce, the future market will come actually from this region. As you know that most of the companies that operate in this region consider as emerging economy. They are growing an average of like 5 to 6 to 7% GDP yearly. So it's a great opportunity actually for the Japanese market to expand to this part of the world. Now in KIZAD, generally we accommodate all sectors, but here I am highlighting 8 sectors, which is polymers, metals, food, automotive, logistic, oil, gas, energy, and pharma. The reason why, because in KIZAD, as well as generally in Abu Dhabi, we have additional value propositions for those sectors that we can actually serve and grow the company that are coming within those sectors. The additional value propositions, I mean, for example, access to raw materials, because those companies, whether it is upstream or downstream or even midstream, actually some of them already exist in KIZAD. So the raw materials, if it is exist in KIZAD or it has been shipped via the port of KIZAD, where the company can take advantage of having an access to cheap raw material, and from there they do manufacturing and export to the other part of the world. The second reason why we have additional value proposition is the market itself. We have a strong market actually for the sectors that you see here, whether it is in UAE or GCC in general. Now, I'll just go through, due to the time, just give you a few informations about those sectors. If we speak about the food, now for this year, the forecast of sales in GCC for the food is over $9 billion. Now, we are importing, this is in 2018, we have imported halal meat in GCC around $5.4 billion. And I remember at that time also, we celebrate also importing the halal from Hokkaido province, Hokkaido state. So it's actually opportunities for the Japanese company to take to this market, which is actually the halal meat or also the other halal food products. Also, packaging is a big industrial within the regions. In UAE, only the demand in 2018 was actually 4.7. This is for packaging. As you see from this slide, it used to grow for 6%, and we are expecting, actually it used to grow for 7%. We are expecting even the next 3 years, the growth of the packaging industry to grow in 6%. For polymers industrial, the value of GCC polymers by 2025 should reach to $15 billion. In 2018, it was a $40 billion. Anyway, because we have our national oil company, they already announced that they will invest a lot in the downstream business and the petrochemical industrial. That's why we are expecting the growth from today to 2025 to be actually around 200%. This is actually a big step toward the polymers industry. For the metal sectors, here is actually a demand. It's a big actually. The constructions by 2029 in GCC expecting to reach 252 billion. Only if we speak about the steel in 2019, the production only in the steel, it was a 44 million of tons. This was when it comes to the crude steel that being produced in GCC. Also, the aluminium sector is very big in our regions. Only in UAE, we are accounting of 4% of the aluminium production in the world. Actually, the largest aluminium production facility in UAE is actually within KIZAD itself. And for automotive, just small highlights here that if you see that 800,000, this is actually the passenger cars by 2020. This is in GCC. As I mentioned that maybe the populations of GCC it's 50 to 60 million, maybe comparing to Japan, which is like 120 to 130. Maybe it looks not big, but most of the Japanese company that today they're using us as a hub for Africa when it comes to automotive and also to CIS country. The growth of the new car is actually not like before. It's now only in 2%, but actually the spare parts is now it's very good business when it comes to the Middle East region and also to Africa. It's growing very fast. Both the used car and also the accessories or the spare parts. Now, pharma, I will, again, just as my colleague started, we will have this presentation and have all figures after the today's sessions. We will send you so you can have all this information. Pharma is actually a big sectors in UAE. It's the forecast by 2025, it should reach actually to $16 billion. Now, coming, for example, if what we serve our customer or another questions, why selecting KIZAD or what we can do to our customers. First, we want to make sure your business, you have efficient operations when you're handling your business. Efficiency in terms of cost and in terms of speed. What we are working since many years actually now, that we want to reduce the cost not only for the facility, the one that we have, whether it is warehouse, or whatever, or even utilities. No, the whole supply chain, when the car is coming from the port, the clearance, tracking, the warehousing, the payment of any service required within KIZAD or within Abu Dhabi and UAE. So we are looking at the whole pictures, how to reduce the cost. And I would say that today we are very efficiency and we are very competitive comparing to the global market, not only to the region. Speed is the same thing. It's not about, for example, today you do the investments. I don't want you to start the operations after 2-3 years. We want to make sure that once you do the investment, that you can start your operation as soon as possible. And at the same time, that we want to make sure with our group company, Abu Dhabi Ports, that your cargo reach to the customer as soon also as possible. This practice has been done actually for many years, and we have reached a very advanced level now. Scales, we have different facility, whether from offices, workstations, from pre-built warehouses, built to suit. So many facilities that are available within those 400 square meter in KIZAD. It makes the company easy actually to upscale or even downscale if the economy is tough, actually, just like we are facing now. Community, it's important. I already explained that we are between Dubai and Abu Dhabi. No need to touch on that again. Just want to say that we have companies can use our labor accommodation. If they have like, I don't know, like 100 to 100 laborers, or even 5 to 10 laborers, if companies require, for example, 2,000 bis, 3,000 bis, this is for mega projects, we are actually allowing those companies also to build their own labor accommodation. Predictability, the last point, this is, I know for Japanese is very important. We are working with the Abu Dhabi governments to make sure that it's easy for any Japanese investor to have 10 years, 20 years plan, projections, plans, how would be the cost, what will be the cost of utility, what will be the cost of land, how the things will happen in the port, everything. So you will have a clear pictures of your business plans in the coming years. And I'm sure this is very important, especially that you will be operating within the Middle East region. Now, one of our products that we provide is the Free Zone Startup. This is dedicated mainly for SME, small, medium company that they want to test the market. They want to come there, put one representative, see how is the market, try to get some agents, so try to work there. Or also for startup company, many mega Fortune 500 companies, also they prefer this model that they come here, they put 1, 2, 3 staff there, start from there, and from there they develop the market, and then they go to their own facility. We have something also called dual license. Dual license is actually that whatever we are giving you as a license within the KIZAD, within your free zone entity within the KIZAD, you will get another license that we will support you to get it under the DED, the Abu Dhabi Economy Department, with the same function. This actually, the purpose of this license, the dual license, that whatever you are practicing in terms of business activity, that you can also do it within the mainland, especially when it comes to projects. So for example, if you are an oil gas companies, you don't need to open another company within the city in order to go, for example, bidding or go for procurements, process everything. You can do it within the same free zone entity. Expanding warehouse, this is actually one of our most selling actually facility that we have. We already built 450 square meter pre-built facility. So those small warehouse or small light manufacturings, those units almost all leased out. That's why actually starting from this year, we got a mandate that we need to build another 250 square meter. All of them under construction will be delivered within the next 3 to 6 months. So those units, they are small warehouses or big warehouses, small height to 12 meter or 15 meters height also is possible. There is warehouses that are dedicated for light manufacturing. If you need like an extra power in order to do some kind of light manufacturing assembly. Also, there is a free zone warehouses and there's a domestic warehouse. So you can choose which kind of warehouse that you need. Also, we are building a showroom and we are building also cold storage. So for company that using, for example, frozen food and these things, we are building and it will be available in next year, March or April. Lastly, this is my last slide now. Everything that I have been discussed before, it's very important to say that since 2015, we have put everything what we have discussed online. So everything that from Japan, you can register the company, you can get your import code from the custom, you can do the clearance with the port, you can integrate and apply for any government agency within Abu Dhabi. So there is one system which is called Marta' Gateway. Marta' is Arabic names, is actually one of our bridge. It's another word of like linking, connecting to. So we are using this name also to show that you will be connected to all government agency online, and everything will be facilitated, easy to make sure that your focus will be in the job itself, not actually of applying for what service that you want. Thank you very much, and appreciate your attention.
Thank you, Khaled. Interesting presentation so far, and it has triggered a number of people to ask their questions in the Q&A section. We will come back to those. Again, please do not hesitate to raise your questions. We will try to address them all. We are very much aware of the time, so we will keep it short. but we'll make sure that we come back to all your questions in writing or by telephone call. For now, it would be interesting to understand from a Japanese investor himself, directly firsthand, what his experience is of doing business in Abu Dhabi. Mr. Mitsura Anazaki is the general manager of Al Gharbia Pipe Company, has a vast experience in the steel export business, initially under Kawasaki Steel and later became JFE Steel. JFE Steel is the shareholder in Al Gharbia Pipe Company, and Mr. Anazaki was seconded to head this facility in October 2017. Mr. Anazaki-san, please over to you to give us a little bit of insight from your perspective.
Thank you, thank you, Edwin. 日本の皆様、そしてアブダビの友人の皆様、こんにちは。おはようございます。アッサラームアライコン。アラブ首長国連邦アブダビ首長国で交換の製造販売事業を行っておりますアルガビアパイプカンパニー AGPC の姉崎充と申します。本日はアブダビからキザッドの進出事例として当社のことを少しお話しさせていただきます。よろしくお願いいたします。最初にですね、当社の紹介を簡単にさせていただき、当社の事業立地にあたり、アブダビ、そしてキザットを選択した理由や経緯の紹介、それらも踏まえましたアブダビで事業を検討する際のポイント、最後に最新の知見や情報を紹介させていただきたいと思っております。まず当社の紹介です。作っている製品は LSAW パイプという鉄板を丸めて溶接する交換製品です。用途は写真にありますような原油や天然ガスを輸送するパイプライン、海上掘削リグの足回りなどのオイル&ガス向け、あるいは東京スカイツリーのような建造物の構造用交換です。会社は2015年に設立されまして、去年9月に商業生産を開始しました。株主はアブダビ政府 100% の投資会社セナート、今は拡大改組されて ADQ になっていますが、いずれにせよ政府が 51%、残り 49% のうち、私の出身母体である JFE スティールが 27%、伊藤忠丸便鉄鋼が 22% となっております。生産能力は年産24万トンということで、この種の製品としては中規模。お客様は当地のアブダビ国営石油会社のアドノック、あるいはお隣サウジのアラムコなど石油ガス会社やそれに関連した工事会社が中心となります。工場事務所の場所は、アブダビ中心部からドバイ方向に向かって80キロほどにあるカリファポートを囲む工業団地、キザットです。私は本日ここから皆様にお話しております。ここにある2枚の写真は本日撮った工場で製造中のパイプの様子ですが、これはこの地で長く石油の生産開発を行っています日本の国際石油開発定石、インペックスさん向けの掘削用のパイプです。たまたまですが、日本の会社さん向けにパイプを作りながら、こうして日本の皆さんに当地のことを紹介できることに嬉しく思っているところであります。続いて当社の進出経緯を説明したいと思います。もともと同じタイプの交換製品を広島県福山市での製鉄所で製造、世界に輸出しておりましたが、特にその中でも中東は大きな市場でした。ところが、近隣のインドの交換会社が力をつけてきて、日本からの交換輸出は海上運賃が割高になるということもあり、どんどん市場が侵食されてきました。そこで競争力のある日本の高級厚板を中東に輸出して、現地でパイプにして、現地のお客様に供給するという、いわゆる垂直分業、あるいは下工程現地展開を目指すことにしました。立地検討にあたっては、十分な需要があるかどうか、地場の有力な競争相手がいないか、政治的な安定性や政府の事業に対する姿勢などはどうかという視点で検討し、いずれの点でも有望な UAE に絞りました。UAE の中ではまずフリートレードゾーンかノンフリートレードゾーンのオプションがありますが、我々は UAE 国内や GCC 諸国が主要市場の製造業であり、税制面でも有利な UAE 法人となるノンフリートレードゾーンを選択。その中で港に隣接した工業団地でロジスティック面のメリットが大きいと感じられた KIZADを最終的に選択しました。ここではですね、こうした当社の経緯や知見も踏まえまして、アブダビで特に製造業や加工業を中心に事業を検討する際の重要な視点を2つほど考えてみたいと思います。まず、なぜアブダビなのかという点と、そこでどう効率的に事業展開していくかと、この2点について、しばらくこのスライドで説明しますので、ちょっとお付き合いください。まず、なぜアブダビ、あるいはどこでなんですけども、当然のことながら、この地域で製造販売する製品の需要規模が一番大事です。一方で、同時にですね、ここからアクセスできる市場の規模も大きな要素です。我々で言えば、石油天然ガス市場がキーですので、まずアブダビと UAE 国内、次に GCC 諸国や近隣のイラクなどの中東諸国、そしてポテンシャルが大きいのが北アフリカや東アフリカです。こうした巨大な需要を補足できる共闘補として、アブダビの立地や整備された物流は大変魅力的です。さらに一番最新の話としては、先ほども紹介ありましたように、UAE はイスラエルと国交を開き、今後経済や人の交流が盛んになるはずですので、イスラエルに関係のある日系企業さんには、窓口にもなれると思います。競合について、場所が変わると競合相手も当然変わります。我々はかつて、JFE は日本の同業と競争していましたが、ここでは隣接するインドや中国企業となり、そこに絞った戦略を練ることになります。政府のビジネスに対する姿勢については、すでにタリクさんやカリットさんがコメントしてますように、アブダビは非常に熱心です。もともと2000年代にアブダビエコノミックビジョン2030を作って、脱石油産業の多角化を推進してきてまして、海外からの投資に熱心です。端的に言うと今のところ法人税も所得税も全くかかりません。このように我々にとって、UAE、アブダビでの事業展開がメイクセンスするということを想定したわけですが、その中でどう戦っていくか、特に私どももまだ創業1年でございますので、これは我々自身の今後の、やっていかなきゃいけないことも含めてちょっとまとめています。5点ほど。まず、サプライチェーンロジスティックス、鉄はですね、重量物、かつ中空の交換は空気を運んでいるものですから、効率的なサプライチェーンとロジスティックをどう設定するかが大きな課題です。この点、主要な原材料である厚板は全て輸入であり、隣接するカリファポートから厚板を輸送し、交換製品を同じくカリファポートから輸出できるというロジは、効率面でもコスト面でも優位に立てると考えております。そこを引き続き徹底して磨いてまいります。2点目、労働力については、この国全人口約1000万人のうち、自国民が2割、8割がエクスパットと言われている海外の人材に国の経済が大きく負っています。そのため、高級経営幹部から中間管理職、現場労働者まで、経験や技能に応じた給与に合致した人材の確保が比較的容易であり、基本その道のプロを集めることができます。また雇用形態も日本に比べたら柔軟にできます。我々のような製造業では、現地労働者を多く雇用します。ちなみに我々の場合は、100人超の現場労働者のほとんどをインドの競合他社から経験者を採用することができました。それだけ彼らにとっても魅力的だったところだと思います。インダストリークラスターズ、産業集積については、もちろん、日本の製造業のような集積は望めませんけれども、オイル&ガス環境を中心とした産業集積がアブダビの別の工業団地にありますし、あるいはシャルジャという主要国には、軽工業を中心とした産業集積があります。もちろん、今後、キザッドでも産業集積が期待したいところであります。現地の事業の現地化支援につきましては、我々の一番のお客様であり、アドノックがすでに採用している ICV という現地企業優遇政策、あるいは、これはアブダビ経済発展庁が推進してますけども、現地での経済付加価値が多いほど電気代が割安になるという制度など、現実的にそうした現地化政策で我々も勉強を受けています。最後にインサイダーエフェクトと書いてますけども、こうした進出先での事業効率を高めるためには、結局現地事業に精通し、現地人脈と信頼関係に基づく有効な関係を構築していくというインサイダー化という概念が、 最後には鍵を握ると改めて痛感しています。今日この頃でございます。次にですね、足元、特に新型コロナによるパンデミック、あるいはそれによるオイル&ガスの関連需要の急減に襲われた、もうこの半年ほどのことを3点ほど紹介させていただきます。需要が急減し、どこの会社も流動性確保が一大事になった際、KIZAD は、リース料の支払いの延期と延べ払い化、さらに厳格してくれています。あるいは政府系親会社からは、こうした経済対策のほか、コロナ対策を含めていろんなアドバイス、指針がありました。さらに実際のオーダー受注に関してもサポートしてもらいました。そうした行動はとても素早く、有益なものと感じました。2つ目、コロナに関してはですね、弊社の現場労働者にも陽性患者が出て、一時シャットダウンしましたが、工場もシャットダウン等ありましたが、社員一同動揺することなく、プロ意識を持って対応できたと思います。そういう意味では、この国のエキスパートは非常に、プロ意識といいますか、優秀だなと思っています。最後に、この国はですね、海外からの人材に関してはいろんな配慮をしており、この右の表は、駐在員ランキングということで、去年のこのランキングですけども、UAE は上位に入っています。で、今回のコロナ禍での対策や安全管理もしっかり取られるというふうに思いました。あと私事ですが、F1 も開催されているサーキット場を週に2日、市民に無料で開放し、レンタル自動車は無料で行っており、私も仲間と自転車部を作って、走ってリラックスできているというようなこともあります。あとですね、これもすでに述べられてますけども、特に石油会社を中心に、これまでの長い日本、アブダビの友好な関係の中で培われた、関係があってですね、とても親日的です。この写真は、令和になった時に、アドノックの巨大な本社前のスクリーンに、開園を祝うということで、こうしたディスプレイをしていただいております。これが最後になりますけども、このスライドではですね、KIZADですとか政府に対する期待とか要望事項をまとめています。ただし、これらもですね、現在何もしてないということではなくですね、取り組み中であり、きっと皆様が進出される頃には実現しているものと思われます。1点目はですね、ロジスティックネットワークということで、鉄道のですね、拡張が構想されてまして、我々にとってはこれ非常にさらに物流上有益になりますので、ぜひ推進してほしいと。あとはもちろんワンストップ化ということで、いわゆる電子政府化含めて一生懸命やってますが、引き続きまだインプルーブの余地があると思っています。あとはKIZADにつきましては、やっぱりいろんなインフラが今整備中ですけども、特に現場労働者等のですね、住居環境がまだ整ってないということで、これはぜひお願いしたい。あとはですね、なんだかんだ言いながらも、このKIZADに今現在いるのは私どもと、あとは私どもの物流の一部を担っていただいている上組さんという2社しかいません。そういう意味では、この取り組みも含めて、私自身もぜひ皆様、日本の企業の方にですね、進出を検討いただきたいなと思ってございます。ということで、これは弊社の屋上から撮った写真ですが、まだ敷地はいっぱいあるはずですので、ぜひ皆様ご検討して進出ください。ということで、以上 AGPC の姉崎からの紹介を終わらせていただきます。ご清聴ありがとうございました。Thank you very much. That's all from my side.
Thank you very much, Hanazaki-san. It's very informative. Although I don't speak Japanese very well, the translation app that is part of this webinar is very helpful in trying to get an understanding of your view to doing business in Abu Dhabi. Not only from the hard perspective, but also just the lifestyle and working within this area. I think it's very important. We would like to invite Mr. Tomohiro Tsuchiya, the Executive Director for JETRO, to say some final remarks on the bilateral business trades before we go into the Q&A session. Again, you can type in your questions on the right-hand side of your screen. Please do not hesitate to address anything that you would like. If we can't answer it today, we will come back to you as soon as possible. Khalid. Sorry, Mr. Tomohiro Tsuchiya.
Okay, so Edwin-san, thank you so much for my introduction. Much appreciated. And first of all, so Mr. Samir Chatuberi, CEO of KIZAD, and Edwin-san, and Harit-san, and other KIZAD team. Thank you so much for planning and so proposing this webinar for Japanese businesses. It's a really so great honor to co-organize this webinar with KIZAD project. Thank you so much. And also, so I extend my gratitude to esteemed speakers, His Excellency Dr. Tariq Bint Hendi, and Director General of Abu Dhabi Investment Office, and Anezaki-san, General Manager of Al Gharbia Company. Thank you so much for joining today, in spite of busy schedules. So I would like to start my presentation, but so please bear with me as I will be presenting in Japanese. はい、JETROドバイ事務所の、土屋と申します。よろしくお願いいたします。ちょっとかなりだいぶ時間が押しておりますが、手短にですね、お話の方をさせていただきたいと思います。本日はですね、すいません。よいしょ。本当はここにあります3つお話しする予定だったんですけれども、ちょっと時間もですね、限られておりますので、この2つ目ですね、UAE 政府が描く、ポストコロナの重点産業、これ6つあるんですけれども、この中で、特に今後将来的にですね、日本の企業さんにとってですね、ビジネスの機会が多いのかなと思う分野をですね、2つご紹介していきたいというふうに思っております。ちょっとスライドをですね、すいません、先の方に、飛ばさせていただきます。はい、こちらのスライドの方からですね、始めさせていただきます。7月にですね、UAE 政府ですね、これまで、数ヶ月前までにはですね、誰も予想していなかったですね、新しい未来に備えて、医療ですとか食料、経済の安全をですね、強化するために、今後はですね、この各分野に対してですね、財政、およびその人的資源をですね、集中的に投下していく必要性というものが強調されております。で、本日はですね、この中で6分野ですね、ヘルスケア、エデュケーション、エコノミー、フードセキュリティ、ソサエティ、ガバメント、6つありますけれども、今日はこの中で、ヘルスケアとですね、フードセキュリティの部分についてですね、少しお話をしたいと思っております。それと、あともう一つ大きな動きがございまして、下のボックスにも書いておりますけれども、7月の頭にですね、UAE の方はですね、内閣の改造、それと省庁の再編をですね、行っております。で、この中で特にやはり注目すべきはですね、2つ目のポチに書いてありますけれども、産業先端技術省の新設になります。要は先端的な技術ですね。今日、他のスピーカーの方でもお話ありましたけれども、やはりそういう高い先端的な技術っていうものを UAE 政府としては非常にやっぱ求めておりますし、また日本に対してですね、期待する一つの大きな分野なのかなというふうに思っております。そうした、先端のですね、技術、こういうものを活用して UAE の産業ですね、の発展に関する政策をですね、実行して所長していくというのがですね、この新しい産業先端技術省ということになります。ですので、こういう新しい技術を使ってですね、こういう重点6分野にですね、積極的にですね、投資をしていくということがですね、今後見込まれております。まず一つ目ですね、フードセキュリティ、食料安全保障の問題でございます。皆さんも容易にイメージできると思うんですけれども、UAE はですね、国土の大半ですね、これが砂漠です。国土はですね、北海道と同じぐらいの大きさなんですけれども、その中で農業に適した面積っていうのは 6% ぐらいしかやっぱないんですね。ですので、食料の自給率も大体 10% で、多く見積もっても 20% ぐらいというふうに言われておりますので、そのほとんどをですね、やはり食料については輸入に頼っているというのが現状です。ですので、国際的な価格変動のリスクですとか、今回ですね、特に大きな、なんて言うんでしょう、その食料の買い占めとかですね、スーパーの棚から食料がなくなるっていったことは特に起きてはいないんですけれども、そういう、なんていう社会情勢ですね、そういうものの変化によってですね、生じるやっぱリスクにさらされておりますので、非常にですね、大きなイシューになっております。で、この問題についてですね、今、解決策として一つ注目を集めているのがですね、一言で使いますと、やっぱり植物工場になります。 やはり、気候ですね。ほとんど砂漠というお話もしましたけれども、夏ですと、気温がですね、やっぱり50度を超える日もありますし、あと年間を通して、降雨量ですね、これが非常に限られております。おそらく年間通して多分10日もないんじゃないかと思います。雨が降る日がですね。よって、水の量っていうのもですね、大体我々が飲む水っていうのはですね、海水の淡水化施設、ここで作られたものを、飲んでおりますので、そういう意味では水の資源というのも限られております。そういうふうに、気候ですとか環境にですね、左右されない形で、効率的にですね、食物を生産していくという、いわゆる植物工場の技術っていうのはですね、非常に今注目をされ始めているのかなというふうに思います。で、一つその右下のボックスのところに紹介させていただいておりますけれども、これスマートアクレス社というですね、UAE の会社なんですけれども、これがいわゆる海上輸送で使うコンテナですね、これを活用してですね、その中でいわゆる人工光ですね、LED を使った人工光でもってですね、水耕栽培によるですね、垂直農業でレタスを栽培しているという会社もですね、最近注目されている会社の一つになります。これまでずっと実証実験をですね、これまでやってきてたんですけども、この9月から、一部をですね、市販を開始するということが先日報道をされていました。ただまだ規模が非常に小さいんですね。コンテナ8個ぐらいでやっておりますので、おそらく本当に商業ベースに載せるとなるとですね、もっと大規模化っていうのが今後必要になっていきますが、一つ成功するかどうかっていうのはですね、一つ注目なのかなというふうに見ております。で、ちなみにこの会社の技術はですね、そこにも書いてありますように、韓国の N シング社というですね、企業の技術をですね、活用しております。で、皆様もご承知のように、日本もですね、やっぱ食料安全保障の問題ってですね、一つ、大きな、問題でございますので、これまでもですね、その植物工場を含めてですね、日本の企業さんというのは非常に、ノウハウがですね、蓄積されている分野なのかなというふうには思っております。ですので、そういうものをですね、今後活用したですね、ビジネスチャンスというのは、UAE でもですね、あるんじゃないかなというふうには思っております。ただ他方でですね、この分野、非常に難しい分野っていうこともですね、承知はしております。おそらく、ここでも同じですけれども、価格面ですね、やはり、投資コストですとか、ランニングコストがやっぱかかりますので、どうしても、ここでもやっぱ安価な輸入品とのですね、やっぱ競争というものがどうしても発生してしまいますし、あとはやはり植物工場ですと、どうしても刃物中心になってしまうということでですね、生産品目がですね、限定されてしまう問題ですとか、あとは販路開拓の難しさですね。やはりこのスマートアクレッサーの社長さんも言ってますけれども、やはりなかなかそのレタスだけですとですね、販路をなかなか開拓するのもですね、難しいといった問題もありますので、非常に難しい分野だとは思います。で、日本企業もですね、おそらく多分、この植物工場をされている会社さん全体の中でおそらく黒字化されている企業さんって確か20%ぐらいというふうに聞いておりますし、またアジア中心にですね、海外に展開されている会社さんもですね、なかなか実証レベルの企業さんがですね、ほとんどというお話も聞いてますので、なかなか難しい分野だとは思うんですけれども、将来的にはですね、ただ、市場としてはですね、見込めるんではないかなというふうに思っていますし、また、最初から投資という形ではなくてですね、最初はそういうこれまで培ってきたノウハウの提供とか、そういうことから始めるというような取り組みの仕方もですね、あるのかなというふうには思っております。はい、すいません。続きまして、ヘルスケアの分野ですね。こちらはですね、UAE はですね、今先ほどお話もちょっと出てましたけれども、今、この時点で大体人口がですね、1000万弱になります。ただ、2000年ですね、2000年の段階の人口って実は300万ちょっとぐらいしかいなかったんですね。これが2010年にですね、850万ぐらいまでに、この10年間でガガッと増えてですね、それ以降はですね、ゆっくりと増えているという形です。よって2000年以降、最初の10年で急速に増えてですね、リーマンショックを契機にですね、それ以降は少し緩やかになっているという形になっています。ですので、少し前まではですね、非常に病床数ですね、これが足りてないというのが大きな問題でですね、それ以降、下にも、真ん中、背景のところにも書いてありますけれども、例えば、シェイクハリーファメディカルシティというですね、大型の 公立病院ですね、ここだけではないんですけれども、そういう病院の設置っていうのが相次いだりとかですね、あとはアメリカの資本ですね、高級の医院ですね、クリーブランドクリニック、アブダビといったものが2015年に開業、これ誘致してるんですけれども、開業するといった形でですね、そういう医療機関の方がですね、非常に増えてきております。ですので、引き続きですね、この分野ですと、医療機器、日本の医療機器メーカーさんですね、すでにUAE の中では今多分10社ちょっとぐらいすでに進出されておりますけれども、そういう企業さんにとってはですね、引き続きビジネスの機会というのはあるのかなというふうには思いますし、あと、最近ですと、特にその先端技術ですね、医療分野でのそのデジタルイノベーションですね、これを活用した分野、でもですね、積極的にそういうものを取り入れていこうというですね、動きがですね、ございます。例えば、ロボットですね、これ、日本でも聞かれていることあると思いますけれども、医療支援ロボットですね、こういうものをですね、活用した事例っていうのが、実際そこにアブダビのですね、クリーブランドクリニックですね、こちらの方ではすでに、ロボットによる治療がですね、150例ほどですね、あるというふうに聞いておりますし、あとは3D プリンターですね、例えば、コロナ中もですね、医療施設で使うようなですね、こういう顔全面を覆うようなですね、マスクですね、これ 3D プリンターで使ってですね、実際にですね、使用されていたりとかですね、そういう新しい先端の技術のですね、取り込みについてもですね、非常に積極的でありますので、こういった分野、今、どちらかというと欧米がですね、先行しているというふうには聞いておりますけれども、今後ですね、日本の企業さんにとってもですね、ビジネスの機会がですね、広がる分野の一つなのかなというふうには思っております。それとあと最後にですね、一つ触れさせていただきたいのが、このヘルスケアの分野ですと、特にやっぱりイスラエルとの関係ですね。8月13日にですね、UAE とイスラエルが国交正常化したという話は、おそらく皆さんも聞かれていると思いますけれども、様々な分野でですね、連携をしていきましょうという話なんですが、一般的にはですね、イスラエル側からするとですね、UAE の方からのですね、投資マネー、これが期待できる。で、反対に UAE の方としてはですね、イスラエルの方から高い技術の流入ですとか、そういった企業の集積、これが期待されるというふうに言われております。で、8月13日にこの国交正常化の合意があったんですけれども、もう本当1週間、それが発表されて1週間以内にですね、このヘルスケアの分野で、その下のところに3つほど書かせていただいておりますけれども、矢継ぎ早にですね、連携の話がですね、出されております。一つご紹介しますと、一番右ですね、この鼻息ですね、鼻息でもってですね、コロナウイルス感染のですね、疑いをですね、検出するという、これイスラエルの企業の技術なんですけれども、これについてですね、UAE とイスラエルの企業双方がですね、開発ですとか検証、販売、製造の分野でですね、連携をしていくということで合意がされておりますので、またそういうイスラエルの動きというのもですね、この UAE のヘルスケアの分野を見る上ではですね、注目に値するのかなというふうには思っております。すいません。最後にですね、こちらのスライドですね。現時点で、日本のですね、日本企業の拠点数ですね、UAE 国内で457となっております。ご覧いただきますと、2010年代に入ってからですね、急激な増加ではないんですけれども、緩やかにですね、日本の企業さんの数増えてきております。毎年大体ネットで10社ぐらいずつ増えてきております。したがいまして、これからですね、こちらの方にですね、今日のいろいろ投資に関するお話もございましたけれども、ご関心がある方がいらっしゃればですね、ぜひ私どもの方にですね、コンタクトをいただければというふうに思います。いろいろな情報の提供ですとか、いろいろなサービス、事業の提供もですね、させていただいておりますので、何らかお手伝いがですね、できるんじゃないかなというふうに思います。今後ともよろしくお願いいたします。すいません。簡単ではございますが、これで終わりにさせていただきたいと思います。Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tomahira. It's been a very informative session with a lot of information provided. So much information, we exceeded a lot of our time. We received many questions and we do not want to unnecessarily speed up the process, and we want to make sure that we answer all the questions in the proper manner. So we will address these questions in writing or by phone to yourselves. Nevertheless, for now, I would like to address one interesting comment or question from the audience to Mr. Mitsuri Anazaki, which for me captures what is the most important element of this or takeaway from this event? Mr. Anazaki-san, what makes you so happy to be operating and working and living in Abu Dhabi?
That's a question?
That's the question.
Can I speak in Japanese?
Please do so.
難しい質問ですね。difficult question。やっぱり非常にまだ未開の地って言いますかね、チャレンジできる要素がいっぱいあるところが、特に仕事面なりですかね、小さな会社ですし、立ち上げですし、ある意味、この地にない工場でございますので、そういう意味では、いろんなチャレンジだとかありますけども、それがまた、スティミュラスかもしれませんね。だからそれが仕事面ですし、あとは生活面なんか本当ちょっと先も触れましたけども、非常にエクスパッツ向けのいろんな、もちろん知れてますよ。食べ物含めていろんな制限はあるんですけども、そういう意味では、アラブ諸国と言いながら、非常に寛容なイスラム政策でございますし、それほど日本の難しいものを望まなければですね、大体、手に入るということで、あとはやっぱり今回のコロナで思ったんですけど、非常にある意味厳しいんですけど、ある意味非常に素早い統制の取れた安全対策、しっかり考えているいうことで、それも窮屈なところありましたけども、それもやっぱりしっかりした国だなと改めて思いました。これで質問に答えてますかね。はい、以上です。That's all, yeah.
Thank you very much, Anazaki-san. Thank you very much for this. Again, we've received many questions. Let me first start by thanking all the panelists today for providing their insights and their backup on the opportunities for Japanese businesses in the Middle East from all different perspectives. My colleague Khaled Al-Mazouki, he is in charge of managing the relationships between Japan and the UAE for KIZAD. He will stay on for a little bit, so please continue sending your questions in the Q&A section, and we will address them accordingly. Thank you very much for now, and we hope for better times in which we can actually come and visit yourselves and meet face to face to further explore the opportunities that we might have. Thank you very much.
Edwin and Khaled, I hope all the questions will be answered, and anyone who is leaving a phone number and details, we will try and contact them as soon as possible within the next couple of days.
Absolutely, that's the idea.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you to all the participants.
Thank you for the invitation. And 日本の皆様、ぜひお越しくださいませ。お待ちしてます。
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I am staying here, so if someone wants me to answer his questions, I'll be happy to answer the questions. But let me just summarize the questions that I received, just to go fast. Questions is asking, can we do business with ADNOC? Of course, we already signed agreement with ADNOC. That you can work with the ADNOC in terms of ICV. So the free zone company already qualifies same as domestic, 100% same. There is no difference. So when any investment you do in the free zone, it will count. Already the agreement we signed with the ADNOC, 2 agreements, one last year and one is this year. Second question, can I do business in Dubai or another city? Now, this depends on the business. For example, if you have a trading license, of course, you can do business with other traders. For example, if you want, for example, to sell your products to someone already have a license within Dubai, of course, you can do that business. But again, you cannot sell to individual. So you cannot sell, for example, to me. But if I have a license, I can buy from you as a free zone company. Now, one question about VAT. Whether the VAT apply for the free zone. Now, the VAT apply for all companies, but there is a criteria. For example, one example, for example, your turnover should be 360,000 dirham. So if you don't meet this criteria, you don't need to register in VAT. Normally, what happens once you establish the company, you need to send a license of your company and you need to fill some details in the VAT website. Very simple. You send to them. and they will tell you if you apply for, if you are eligible and you need to register or you don't need to register. But normally for free zone company with the, I would say that they don't have much of investments, okay, they don't do VAT. But even if you do VAT, for example, this is just because of the system wise. When you sell your product, for example, to someone, let's say in Dubai or in Abu Dhabi, you need to register, and you will even if you have the VAT, but the person who will pay the VAT is the person in the mainland, not you as a free zone. So this is one of the questions. Another questions we received about Israel, if we can do business. Of course, now the agreement is going to be signed actually today, officially announced. So you can use UAE also as a hub for Israel. Maybe if you hear the news, already the fly open, so you can even cross Saudi Arabia land. So you don't need to take long routes. It takes I'm not sure. I think it's someone said like around 2 hours and something, less than 3 hours between Israel and UAE. So of course air cargo is possible, sea cargo is also possible. There is no anymore of any kind of blocks. It has been already removed, and it was issued by the decree of our president. This is the questions that I see. And what is the minimum cost of registrations? Now, of course, you can even register with $2,000 US. It depends what things you need. If you need, I don't know, workstations, $2,000, I can give you the license, I can give you the contract workstation, everything. If you need a warehouse, we have small size, we have big size, but normally we are speaking of average of 60 to 70 US dollar per square meter. This will be the price. What is the difference between JAVZA and KIZAD? And also one question is about DIFC. Now, I personally worked in JAVZA for 12 years, so I think I'm good to answer these questions. Now, the free zone concept proven that it is very successful in UAE and in the regions. That's why there is a lot of free zones. Only in UAE, there's around 40 free zones only in UAE because it's proven. Japanese company, we have like from 350 to 400 companies, Japanese company in UAE. Almost 200 company or plus are free zone. So I would say more than 50-60% of the Japanese company established within the free zone because it's actually serve their needs. Now, what is the difference between KIZAD, JAVZA, DIFC, and other zones? This is actually, it's good that there is a competition, so you have different service and products. So, for example, if you need a warehouse, JAVZA has a warehouse, we have a warehouse. Then you will need to do some kind of study, which warehouse serve you. Does this warehouse the specifications that you need? Does this warehouse closer to your market? So these kind of details will actually answer your questions. DIFC is different. DIFC is the financial service. It's totally different free zone. We have similar something in Abu Dhabi, but KIZAD is different. KIZAD, you can compare it, for example, to JAVZA, yes, and to the other trading, industrial, logistics free zone, but you cannot compare it to financial zone or service zone. This is totally different zone. But again, as I said, for you as investors, it's good actually. There is many free zone, many competition. You can go and check 2, 3, 4 products, service, and select from. I'm not sure if I answer all questions. Okay, of course, you will have the presentation of all the speakers. We will send you hopefully by tomorrow. What is the challenging of Japanese company in the Middle East based on your experience? This is good questions, but let me say something. What I have been working with the Japanese companies for 15 years. Most of the Japanese company that I work with, actually, they're still in UAE. I remember that we use every year we have added, like for example, 5 to 10 Japanese company. And every 2-3 years, only one Japanese company leave. And that company, when I did interview to them, I noticed the reason why they left is not because of the business, because maybe they have some contracts which is expired. So what I like about the Japanese company that before they come, they do their feasibility study, they do a lot of readings, They have business trips to UAE 2, 3, 4 times. We also visit them 2, 3 times. Nishida-san is also here. He's based in Tokyo, so he's supporting us to visit the company. So they do all the studies in order to reduce the risk. So I am very happy to see that comparing to the other nations, Japanese companies tend to stay longer comparing to the other. Normally, we have, for example, Sony, which was established in 1985. And from that time till today, it's growing. The company is keeping growing. There's a lot of examples. As I said, there is a 400 Japanese company. I'm not speaking about the small company, because the small company sometimes we don't capture. Like in KIZAD, one of the questions, how many companies we have in KIZAD? I remember I used to receive companies like Japanese lady come to the office. I want to establish a small office for cosmetic business. Yeah, these kind of business, normally we don't capture it like in companies. This is kind of like SME, the small medium companies. So we have a number. We have maybe, I don't know, maybe 10, 20 only in KIZAD. I'm sure also in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, there's a lot more of such companies that come established. One of the companies asking about, one of the questions asking about cosmetic. Cosmetic in UAE generally doesn't require halal approval. If you do the labeling, which is, I think it's necessary in Malaysia, but if you do the labeling, it's good. But normally it doesn't require, because the concept of halal in GCC, it's applied mainly for the food. It doesn't apply for the other thing, which is like doesn't apply for logistic, or it's apply for cosmetic. So it's not required. I think, I'm not sure. Nishida-san, any other questions I miss?
Yes, some of them. So, talking about some question we received. For example, the minimum cost to set up a company in KIZAD. So this is and then one thing is how many days will be required, working days, to set up a company. This is a simple question, but very important, I believe.
Okay, UAE is very efficiency. UAE one of the advanced country in the world, actually, when it comes to systems and everything. I can register the company in one day, but do I have the documents? Now, there's two types of registration, just like anywhere you go in the world. If you come as an individual, I have the forms, you need to sign it, and the second day I can give you the license if you do the payment. Now, if you come as a company, you need to do the attestation of the legal documents in the UAE embassy in Tokyo, and this depends on the time that it takes. Okay, then we can know. But as of KIZAD itself, 1 day, 2 days is enough to do the registration. Any other question, Nishida-san, I missed?
Still some questions there, but the time is really over. That's why we'd better to set.
Okay. So anyway, we'll answer all the questions. We have your email. We have email address. You will receive a thank you email, first of all, with all the presentations. The second thing you will receive after 3-4 days is actually answer to your questions directly, specifically. And I think you saw that there is a contact detail. Hopefully you take a note of the contact detail. I will also put my contact detail here if you want to reach me in the Q&A. So you can reach me and you can reach Nishida-san. He also put his contact. Maybe Nishida-san, again, you put your contact detail in the Q&A again.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so you can reach us directly. And we can set up meetings also virtually with you. Why not?
Yep.
Okay, I think we are not able to send because this is actually something for you. Okay, my email is very simple. It's actually khalid.almarzougi@kizad.ae. I am sorry that I'm not able to send the questions. Arun, if you are here, can you write my questions down? And also maybe Nishida-san, I mean my email and Nishida-san email here. I'm not able to send.
So actually, I received some question or inquiry from our important customer. That's case. So I'm going to pass it to you. So I'll connect with you. So don't worry about it. Okay.
Okay, sure. There are some questions I see about some kind of sector focus. These kind of questions, I think it's better that. Okay, now I can. You can write your email. Now it's possible.
Okay.
Okay, so just take a note of the email, and also we put it there. Send us email directly. We can have face-to-face meeting, and anyway, we'll answer your questions by email.
Yep. In the end, you don't mind my speaking by Japanese?
Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
いまだにすごく多くの方が視聴してくださっています。もう当初の時間から30分ほどオーバーする形となって申し訳ございませんが、その分だけ熱量があるんだなというふうに思いながら、これから期待するところでございます。また何かございましたら、本当にいつでもおつなぎいたしますし、お話しさせていただければと思いますので、どうぞよろしくお願いいたします。で、最後に、今回、集客等々にあたってですね、ジェトロの皆様、もちろんのこと、中東協力センターの方々にもご協力いただきました。この場を借りて御礼申し上げます。Thank you very much, Khalid.
Thank you everybody. Thank you.
ありがとうございました。失礼いたします。